I wanted to hop on YouTube really quickly. I want to document a lot more of what I'm specifically going through so I could just connect with you guys. I like YouTube because I could just, talk, speak my mind. But I wanted to just give you guys a quick reminder that no one experiences life the same. People experience life through the lens that they choose to experience life through, aka your perspective. And when you actually understand that your life quality is based off of how powerful your perspective is, that's when you can take back control and create a more positive reality for yourself. The thoughts that you specifically choose to give power to are the biggest dictator for how your future life will be. And your perspective on everything, of course. It relates to each other. It's all the mental state. Your mental, if you align it with who you want to be in this world, and you could consciously redirect your internal state to build your dream life, that's when your entire life will change. And some of you guys may know me as the guy who does coaching, who overcame anxiety, whatever, who shares his message. And yes, that's true. But I just want to say, I'm not perfect. And I want you guys to completely get out of the social media rut of comparing yourself to other people, having social media take your happiness because you want to live up to these unrealistic expectations. There's a difference between, chasing big goals. I believe in that. And being unrealistic and making yourself unhappy in the present moment, telling yourself you're finally going to be happy once you achieve X, Y, and Z. You get it. But I just want to take you guys out of that mental state that social media can get you in. And I just want to be real. And I want to let you guys know that I'm not perfect. So I'm just kind of documenting what I'm going through. And sometimes life gets hard mentally. It gets a little tricky in relationships, in certain aspects of your life. But I just, it's a reminder because I've built my perspective up to be so powerful. And I've mentally reframed failures and mistakes as learning lessons. Because when you can actually frame something in a different way and you remove mistakes, failures from your literal vocabulary, your subconscious mind will start to attract what you talk about. So if you always say, hey, it's a learning lesson, your mind will look for that. Your mind will look for the proof of the learning lesson so you could learn from it. Seriously. And that always just keeps a good head on your shoulders when you're fully aligned mentally with who you want to be in this world. People, again, don't experience life the same. They experience life through their perspective. I want you to get pissed off, and I want you to understand that I'll say this. Someone could be thrown in your exact position that you're in right now if you're struggling, and they could experience life 10 times better just because their perspective is more powerful. Like seriously, even if you're going through a really hard time right now, if their perspective is more powerful, they will experience a better life because they're mentally aligned with understanding that everything happens for a reason, that mistakes and failures are literally just learning lessons where you can take that data and information from to help you next time in your life, they'll experience a better life. And I know we talked about perspective, and I also mentioned thoughts. Thoughts. 2 to 3 years ago, one anxiety attack changed my entire life. I felt like I was living a life of derealization, like I was in a video game 24/7. And I fully changed my life, all from thinking better and consciously aligning myself mentally with who I want it to be. Your life will finally change when you can understand that every single thought that you specifically choose to give power to is the biggest dictator for how your future reality is going to be. And let me break it down. The thoughts that you give power to ultimately shape your emotional state. And why that's important is your emotional state dictates how you feel, based off of emotions, of course. And how you feel dictates what you do. And guess what? What you do compounds into your reality. So your thoughts ultimately dictate everything. Dictates your life, dictates how you see this world, shapes your perspective. So it's just all the internal stuff. And that's why I preach it so hard, because I literally changed my life. Moved 3,000 miles away from my hometown when literally 2 to 3 years ago, I was scared to be alone because my mind would always think of the worst case scenario, because my anxiety was literally making me feel derealized, and I had depression. Sometimes you need to completely remove your ego and just understand that you may not be stuck because you don't know what to do. You may just be stuck because every single morning you believe your negative thoughts and you don't understand the psychological cycle behind that, of how that works. So it's just it's just some thoughts, I'm believing my anxiety, whatever, I'm gonna go about my day. But then you feel low energized and you just feel like not doing anything when you don't understand. Again, the cycle behind you believing your negative thoughts is completely shifting your nervous system. And your nervous system always sees this world as such a bad place because you're thinking of the worst case scenario. You know, you're just always negative because that's what your nervous system is running on based off of your emotional state by you believing your negative thoughts. It's just a full cycle. So again, there's not really any structure for this video. I always just like to speak what's coming through my mind, but I just want to remind you guys that every single thing and every single circumstance that you're in right now, you can change from. You can redirect your life and consciously align yourself mentally with who you want to be in this world to build your entire dream life. And it's one of the best feelings. You know, I only used to be able to work my job. I used to work a corporate job. I was like, you know, trying to get in sales and stuff like that. And I literally only felt normal when I was like working my corporate job, and I couldn't even start my side business, which was sales at the time, because it felt like the only time where I felt normal was when I was working my job. And obviously, the only time where I felt normal was my job because I was operating under someone else's system. So it was easier for my brain to just relax because I didn't have to use much brain power operating under this system, aka my job. But when it came to me creating my own routine, I didn't understand that my routine that I need to see results with, obviously, is built on a foundation of discipline. That's how you see results in your life. You need discipline. And I didn't understand that my discipline, you know, I thought my discipline just came from random motivation. Like, oh, I don't feel motivated today, so I'm not going to be disciplined. No. The discipline that you create for yourself is based off of a compound of thoughts that you choose to give power to every single morning. Because if you wake up right away and you believe your negative thoughts, you're not going to feel motivated to do anything because boom, you shifted your emotional state right away and you're going to start being lazy. And then that laziness is going to compound into your reality. So it's like, bro, break the cycle. When you can consciously overcome your anxiety and you wake up and you still have negative thoughts, it's part of life. I did this morning. You have them under control. So you could redirect your internal state to give power to positive thoughts, which shape your nervous, which make your nervous system feel more motivated and you have more energy. So you're gonna start being productive. And guess what? That productivity is discipline. And that's how the foundation is built. It all starts in your mind. Literally, it all does. And I did not learn this information online. Back when I was struggling 2 to 3 years ago, I never learned this online because I couldn't find it. I just thought that I needed to learn more basic information to help me change. Oh, I want to start getting in shape. How can I do that? Let me look up the right nutrition plans and meal plans. Don't get me wrong, that helped. Eating clean is amazing. Helps with your mental state, your physical state, your emotional state, literally everything. I could go on a full rant with that. But I couldn't even stay consistent because my anxiety was taking over. So, you know, I hope this resonates with some of you guys out there. I just like to speak my mind. I'm gonna start posting on YouTube a lot more. I was neglecting it. I was only, you know, focused on short form content. But YouTube is sick because I could have literally no direction with a video, no structure, and I could just take out my phone and yap on my balcony. So I'm super blessed to be doing this. I always find fulfillment doing this. It's about 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, I kind of just have that sense of motivation. You should never rely on motivation, but I have a lot of motivation right now to just better myself. Called my mom earlier, called my dad. It's always good to connect with them because I recently moved away from my hometown. Family is important, so that made me feel motivation as well. It's like, let's go, connecting with the family, having a good relationship, remembering my why I do what I do, why I started posting on social media. What would I want to do 2 years ago when I was struggling? How much of a difference would I want to make? Because I made a promise to myself. I'm going to teach people the exact steps to change their life just like I did. It just gives them inspiration and just be myself. Because why live a life trying to impress other people when you're not even yourself? Because if you're trying to just get external validation to impress other people, then you're going to attract people to you when you're not yourself. So that's going to just create toxic relationships, romantically, friendships, and etc. So always be yourself, always be real, always be personal. Yes, I know I'm walking back and forth on my balcony right now. This is what I like to do. Get some steps in. 15K steps today. I'm getting more though. This is what we do. I kind of get in like flow state when I'm like walking just back and forth, showing the view off. Let's go, let's go, let's go. But yeah, super grateful for everything, guys. I am always going to keep documenting. Stay tuned for some more vlogs. And just really understand that you can fully change your life. I want to be living proof. I'm not perfect, but I have a lot of stuff under control that I never thought I would have. Anxiety led me down a really, really dark time mentally. Seriously, a really, really dark time. So you could change your life. Appreciate you guys tuning in for the little yap sesh. Make sure to follow my Instagram. I post every single day on there. Not every single day on YouTube. That would be a little tough, but we can make it happen. Not every day. Probably, because that'd be a lot. YouTube, some more longer videos, but I'm gonna start posting more, just more, and I'll make that promise, and I'll make it happen, because I like to. I like YouTube. I like to build myself up, be authentic, just take out the camera and yap again. So I'm gonna head to sleep. I gotta shower first, but yeah, again, I'll say it one more time. I want to be living proof that you can fully change your life. Take this as an inspiration. I'm not here to flex. I do not care about any of this materialistic stuff. All I do is work out, work on my business, prioritize friends and family, and just be the best man I can. Just be the best man I can be. Be a man, be a leader, make a difference, make your family proud, make yourself proud, and yeah, just be a cool person. Stop trying to be nonchalant, chase your dreams, because in 60 years, are you gonna be like, oh, those people judged me, I'm so sad, or are you gonna be more pissed off with you not taking the opportunity to chase your wildest dreams and achieve them? Watch me. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make the biggest difference that I can make. And it all starts with focusing on the inputs. All right, I'm done with my app sesh. Catch you guys later. Seriously.